Greetings, this is Christopher Holcomb with another video, bringing it straight to you. Today on this video, what I'm going to do is talk briefly. I want to let you guys know that I've been very busy, and I do apologize that I haven't had many videos put out there in the last 2 weeks, dealing with getting a property rehabbed, working on some wholesaling deals, building a network, working with some great individuals. So a lot of things are coming down the pipeline, as I always say, but they're coming down a little bit faster, so things are ramping up. Today what I'm going to talk about, or at least on this video, is insurance. And I don't know if people know, in Detroit, most of the time properties we get are distressed properties, tax auction properties, foreclosures, short sale properties. So with that being said, a lot of properties are vacant. A lot of people don't know you can get insurance for that. It's rare. There's certain people you have to deal with. You have to probably go through a needle in a haystack to get it, but they are available. And that's who I deal with, a individual by the name of Chris, who pretty much is an agent that deals with investors and provides that type of insurance, which is great because you don't want your property getting fire damage, you don't want any major issues, and it's good to have a property insured while it's going through the vacancy process. If you're rehabbing it, your rehab take longer than normal time frame. You don't want to have your fingers crossed hoping nothing happens to the property while you're trying to upgrade it. And it's pretty much cost effective. Usually it's probably like, for a year's insurance policy, maybe $1,400 to $1,800. You're not going to keep a property for that long in the rehab stage, so it works out. Could be like $300, $400 for a couple months, $100 and something per month. Very feasible, worth the investment. And to me, and for any investor, if you're dealing with someone who's saying, oh, we acquire property, we do rehab, we put tenants in, we're the whole mom and pop shop, make sure they got insurance for the vacancy stage and the rehab stage, that your property is covered and secured and insured. Honestly, it may be hard to find, but if they're doing it and they're dealing at a very high amount of rehabs, they should have a resource for that. The other insurance is an insurance when you got a tenant in there, when you're renting it, or land, when it's rented or land contract. That insurance monthly come pretty much anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000. Depends on the property, what you're covering. But I have a property that roughly I spend, trying to think, probably like $1,800 for it. It's worth it. So it's roughly $100 a month. Maybe less than. It's got to be, I'm paying roughly $100 a month, it's got to be around $1,200 or $1,300. And it's feasible. It covers the property. The people who's renting the property has to get rent insurance to protect everything in their property. But as an investor, it's feasible. It's not that cost expensive. You got a person in there, so you got proof of a renter or a lease agreement, which shouldn't be a problem. And you secure your property. Your property is covered. Anything major happen. A lot of times people got to evaluate what that cost is within their cash flowing costs. I know usually I tell them it's either with anywhere between $200 and $300 that will affect your cash flow. So someone says, what kills me, oh, we're doing $700 a month. Yeah, but your net operating income is only $400, or it could be $500. Depends on the taxes and depends on the insurance. And insurance is a big investment. Also, if you're buying a property, like I will re-indicate again, make sure they got insurance on it during the rehab stage. Yes, that's a holding cost that they have to endure, you have to endure, but it's worth the investment. So just wanted to let you guys know there's 2 phases of insurance: rehab, vacancy insurance, and then there's when a tenant's in there. One thing, when you have a tenant in there, if they're a land contractor, you can homestead the property, which will decrease the taxes and hopefully make the insurance be more feasible too. But I can't give you the formula how they come up with the insurance. Depends on the property. If it's a colonial, if it's a bungalow, if it's 3 bedrooms, what's the appraisal for it, what's the market value, that all goes in it also. However, I will always tell you, make sure you get the best insurance, and get more coverage is better than less coverage, as we always say. More is better. Pretty much like on the AT&T. I want more. Make sure you got that on your coverage of your properties. So vacancy stage, tenant, rented, or land contract, you want to make sure you're covered and got insurance. Insurance shouldn't run you no more than $2 grand. If it runs you $2,500, you must have a property in Rosedale Park that's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, or something of that nature. If not, reassess your insurance. Verify their point of contact for insurance if you're working through another real estate investor for investors out of state or out of country, so you can know exactly why your insurance is what it is and what coverage you're getting. So just wanted to give you guys a head up, wanted to cover this topic. I got a lot of feedback of people wanting to know what insurance rates would be. Primarily, it runs in between that. A lot of times, like I say, when you're doing cash flowing, I would say automatically bump off $200 for taxes and insurance. It could be more, but at least the minimum should be around that. It ain't gonna be, I don't believe it's gonna be less than that. So $200. So if it's a $600 cash flowing property, you're taking home $4. So just simple math, conservative round figures until you get into the meat and potatoes of exactly what everything is. So as always, check out any videos. Like this video if you like it. Comment if you don't like it. Comment if you got questions. Comment if you want the person I use for insurance locally here in Detroit for vacancies and rehabs, and also when you transition over to tenant occupied properties. I'll definitely give you my contact. He's a great guy and he does great work. So as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. We'll have more of my rehab process I'm doing on a process. Maybe even when I'm walking neighborhoods, checking out, taking pictures, because I do have a problem with wholesalers and the information to provide. I did a video on that before. I might go back and talk about that again, be like volume 2 of it. So as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video and y'all have a good day.